Shalom, shalom, Israel. First off, giving our praise to the Most High, to His Son, Yahushua. Today's class is the discipline of our mouth. And we're going to touch on this subject for today's Sabbath class because we want to make sure that, guess what, not only our actions is lining up with the scriptures, but also our word of mouth. You know, we're going to touch on this for the brothers as well as for the sisters, you know, because this is part of our nation building, you know, that we speak as Israelites. So shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Have your pens and papers. Take notes, man. Take plenty notes, man, because we're going to touch over some things today. So who read from? Obviously, all right. First, give me John chapter 3, verse 3. Because this is the first part of starting to correct your mouth. You know, the mouth is a world of fire, man. You know, it could either build up or it could either destroy. You know, so we're going to bring these scriptures out so it helps build brothers and sisters up. Read that also.
The book of St. John, chapter 3, verse 3. Jesus answered, Yahushua answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again.
Do what?
Except a man be born again.
Except a man and woman Israelite be born again. Read on up.
He cannot see the kingdom of God.
You cannot see the kingdom of God. Now, this is not talking about a literal birth, like how when you see Nicodemus asking Christ, Nicodemus was getting simple. But Christ gave him the understanding that this is talking about spiritually, not physically. Rethinking your thoughts all over again, forgetting what you learned in the world and come back to how the Bible, how the Most High God wants you to be. And that's the most important thing. And that the most important thing is how we speak to one another and what we say when we out there in the public. Because a lot of times brothers and sisters listen to what you say. They can see an Israelite from the way they conduct themselves and furthermore by the way they speak. You know, so we want brothers and sisters to understand this. You know, as much as we change, we also want to be changing our mouth. Read that from the top again.
St. John chapter 3, verse 3. Yahushua answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God.
And guess what? Brothers and sisters won't make it unless brothers and sisters change, man, wholeheartedly from top to bottom, man. Read on,
Verse 4. Nicodemus said unto him, How can a man be born when he is old?
He was getting simple. Read on up.
Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb?
Read on up.
And be born? Yahushua answered, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit.
Except a man be born of water and the Spirit. Let's get what that water is. Give me Ephesians chapter 5, verse 26. Captain Nehemiah, give me the Spirit. Give me John 6 and 63 right quick. Let's see what that is, man, because the Bible interprets itself.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 26. That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
By the what?
By the word.
So the water that the Bible is talking about is the word. That's what cleanses you. That's what helps you correct your mouth and put brakes on opprobrious words. Read that in John, Captain Nehemiah.
The book of St. John, chapter 6 and verse 63. It is the spirit that quickeneth. The flesh profiteth nothing.
The word quicken it means to change. It is our spirit that changes. Read on up.
The words that I speak unto you.
The what?
The words that I speak unto you. They are spirit and they are life.
So guess what? It all goes back to the words of the Bible. And contained in the words of God is the law, statutes, and commandments. So when you put on that water and put on the new spirit, guess what? You talk as such. You speak with a man that has authority. You know, a man that has wisdom, a sister that has wisdom. Let's get into give me Solomon, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. This is one of the second steps. First, you got to be born again, and this is one of the second steps. Go ahead, officer, y'all.
Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit.
And that's another thing. Brothers and sisters got to pray for the spirit of discipline, because that's how you control your mouth. Putting on that spirit of discipline, because guess what? Discipline is a spirit. We have to pray for these things, because guess what? We have no discipline in the American society. You can say and do and be as you want, but that's not according to the scriptures. Read on up.
For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit and remove from thoughts that are without understanding.
Not only does it put your mouth in check, it also puts your thoughts in check, and that you have more understanding. Read on up.
And will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in.
And it won't abide when unrighteousness or sin cometh in. So guess what? We got to pray for the spirit of discipline. And up under that spirit of discipline, give me Sirach chapter 23 and 7.
The book of Sirach, chapter 23, verse 7. Hear, O ye children, the discipline of the mouth.
The what?
Hear, O ye children, the discipline of the mouth.
The children is talking about the children of Israel. We have to have the spirit to discipline our mouths. The things that we say that comes out of our mouth, whether do we know, guess what? They affect people all around us, man. Because guess what? We were made to be the leaders of the planet Earth. So don't think that people subconsciously not listening to what we say. That's how we see when we go into certain stores and go places, they see the fringes. And then once we open our mouth, they start to see the wisdom that comes out of our mouth. Like Maccabee said, we go to this one restaurant. Guess what? Y'all really do the things that's in that Bible. You know, y'all really living the word, you know, and y'all speaking, thus said the Lord God. We're not speaking our own words. Read up from the top again,
Sirach chapter 23, verse 7. Hear, O ye children, the discipline of the mouth.
The discipline of the mouth. Going along for the sisters too, because we know our sisters, boy. Some of our sisters have a mouth on them. Some of our sisters do. I see Sister Mariah right now putting the book up. You know what I'm saying? But this is all to help correct brothers and sisters, man, because we all know we have to work on our mouths one way or another. You know what I'm saying? So this is just to help build brothers and sisters up. This is not to destroy brothers and sisters.
That's right. And the thing is, having discipline of your mouth, it starts in your mind first. It's a mental type of thing. And a lot of times when we kind of structure our mindset, guess what? Sometimes it take time to change those things.
That's right.
But we do supposed to make haste to try to change those things, man. And that's what I'm going into. Go ahead.
Read on, Officer Yara.
He that keepeth it shall never be taken in his lips.
When you have discipline of your mouth, guess what? You cannot be taken in your lips. Now, we know that the scribes and Pharisees constantly try to take Christ in the understanding of the scriptures, but Christ was cutting them wholeheartedly, man. Christ wasn't playing no joke, and he's the perfect example that we should esteem to be. Now, we know that Christ was a perfect man. You know, he walked this earth, but we should always strive to get to the statue of Christ, man. Always striving for that, man, and never taking nothing less than that for an okay. Jump down to verse 11.
Sirach chapter 23, verse 11. A man that useth much swearing shall be filled with iniquity.
Use that again. Read that again.
A man that useth much swearing shall be filled with iniquity.
Now, the word swearing has two definitions. It can mean where you making an unlawful promise to God, or it could go into cussing words. Both of them are unlawful. Because guess what? It's not good for us to promise God something, and a lot of times you don't follow through with it, man. The Most High does not like that, and that's one of the laws, man. Don't vow that you cannot keep, man. Especially if you vow to the Most High, man. He gonna require that thing of you, man. He gonna want you to follow through. Read on,
A man that uses much swearing shall be filled with iniquity.
And people that use these things, that type of language, shall be filled with much iniquity. Read on,
And the plague shall never depart from his house.
From his who?
From his house.
Because guess what? They're going to do two things. The house is talking about your own body or your own household. So, you know, the way we speak and conduct ourselves, man, that is very important, because especially for the men, you know, we are the leaders of our nation, man. You know, those things trickle down, man. They have a trickle down effect on the way we talk and use words, man. So we always want to be mindful of these things. And guess what? We have the next generation of our sons and daughters to raise up. Don't think that they not listen to the way that you talk. You know, a lot of times they catch us when we're not even thinking about it, man. You just never know. So we always want to be mindful of these things. Read on up.
If he shall offend, his sin shall be upon him, And if he acknowledge not his sin,
because a lot of times some people don't even acknowledge that thing, man. It says, read that again,
if he shall offend, his sin shall be upon him. And if he acknowledge not his sin, he maketh a double offense.
If you don't repent from that thing and acknowledge that thing, guess what? It says that you make a double offense, man.
Okay, let's read that from the top again. Show y'all something in there too. Read that again,
Ecclesiastes 23 and 11. A man that useth much swearing shall be filled with iniquity.
He said he's gonna be filled with iniquity. Watch this though. Read.
And the plague shall never depart from his house.
I just broke that down pretty good though. Read the next part though.
If he shall offend.
Now that's the part. Because a lot of time when people talk and they're using the swearing, the point is offending somebody. Now, what did the Lord say if you offend one of his little ones? You see what I'm saying? The offense that comes with it. That's the main part about swearing. Now, when you swearing, when you offended somebody, that's when this next part is finna expound on it even more. So I want people to want us to pay attention to what it's really saying. Go ahead,
If he shall offend, his sin shall be upon him.
He said, now, if he offend, his sin is upon him. Now read the next part up.
And if he acknowledge not his sin,
But if he don't acknowledge the sin, read on.
he maketh a double offense.
2 and 2. Read up.
And if he swear in vain,
Now go ahead.
Read on,
and if he swear in vain, he shall not be innocent, but his house shall be full of calamity.
Brothers' spirits, sister spirits, and guess what? Your whole household shall be full of calamities, man. Full of things that you can't even foresee, man. So it's very important that we keep our mouths in discipline. Jump up to verse 9.
Let me say something.
Go ahead.
A lot of times we thinking when we're looking at the swearing, we're looking at words like cuss words or whatnot. Not swearing when you ain't got discipline on your mouth, backbiting pops up. You know, you talking about your people behind their back. You got bad with, you in their face. Hey, girl. Soon they leave. Well, I can't stand her anyway. You know, those type of things are what we do. We get caught up in. This is one of the main disciplines of the mouth, and that's the offensive thing. Because a lot of times we think, well, I didn't cuss them out, but you still offended them by what you said and how you went about going at something. So that's discipline of your mouth. So don't just look at so much upon the words that's said. It's think about the words and how you speak the words to someone.
And that's a good point that I'm bringing out. A lot of times, because there may be some brothers and sisters that don't use cuss words, but you still got a foul mouth on you, that it offend people. And then some people do use cuss words, and guess what? The nicest person ever. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? It's a balance between the two. We got to watch the things that we say, man. Read verse 9.
Verse 9. Accustom not the mouth to swearing.
Accustom not thy mouth to swearing. So we don't want to get accustomed to that thing. Yes, we know that it does happen, but you don't want to get accustomed to it to make it feel like it's something that's natural. Because guess what? Being an Israelite is a lifestyle. We keep saying this over and over. We not only live it, but guess what? We also speak it, man. Read on.
Accustom not thy mouth to swearing, neither use thyself to the naming of the Holy One.
To the naming of swearing in the Most High's name, and dang on well you ain't gonna follow through with that promise, man. Most High does not like that thing, man. So we got to check our spirit on that because we was brought up to do that, man. We constantly did that, man. So we got to mind these things. You got something? Go ahead.
Give me Sirach 20 and 20 right quick. Just a page over. Get that read it out.
The book of Sirach, chapter 20, verse 20.
Read from start at verse 19.
Verse 19. An unseasonable tale will always be in the mouth of the unwise.
Because guess what? Some people always got a good lie to tell, man. Some people just always got that to do, man. And some people always got to be gossiping too. And some people always got to offend people, man. Because that's in some people's nature, man. That's how it goes. But read on though.
Verse 20. A wise sentence shall be rejected when it cometh out of a fool's mouth.
Because guess what? When you looking at that person, you're like, oh man, that person ain't never got nothing to say. So guess what? Even if it's wise, you ain't gonna accept it. Because you know that person's character. They ain't never got nothing good to say. They ain't gonna never come back. Guess what? You just ain't gonna accept the wise thing you got to say.
I'm glad I said that because guess what? They're going to, like I said, a foolish brother. But then that brother could have said something wise, and you still not gonna regard it, man. Because you know the brother's spirit, so to speak, or the sister spirit, man.
Right.
You know that's what we tell brother. Your spirit got to line up with your mouth. All these things have to line up. You got something, Captain Marco?
Let's go to verse 7.
Hold on, let me read
Okay.
that out. Let me finish that out right quick.
A wise sentence, verse 20. A wise sentence shall be rejected when it cometh out of a fool's mouth.
Because this is why he's gonna be rejected. It's been the answer there. Read on.
For he will not speak it in due season.
Because he ain't gonna speak in the right season. Because guess what? It might be a time of a funeral, man. We mourn. He come here laughing, joking, and everybody ain't for their playing, man.
Yeah.
That's why it's rejected. Because guess what? Or it could be the vice versa. We having a good time, man. He could have brought it all, man. We everybody having a good time. He come in, man. Look, man, brother was a good brother, man. Look at everybody ain't trying to hit that right now, man. We having a good time, man. Even though we miss him, everybody miss him or whatever. But guess what? We got it, man. We having a good time. It's feast day. That's how we celebrate.
That's right.
Go
And
ahead.
another
Doc.
thing, man, that's another thing. A lot of times when you bring up some of your stuff to people, they be in a good mood, and here you come. You know, my toes just hurt me so bad. This and that, and you come with all your sad story. They looking at you like, man, I was just, you know what I'm saying? I just want to race it, man. You done brought all in, man. You know what? And just feeling sorry for yourself. I don't know why everything happening to me. Because you want to shut your mouth and make the stuff stop.
Go ahead, Captain.
Yeah, Mark. Let's get verse 5 in the same book. Sirach 20 and 5.
The book of Sirach, chapter 20, verse 5. There is one that keepeth silence and is found wise.
Brother in the spirit, I got that. You
You
already
already
know.
got that out?
Cocked and loaded over here. Go ahead. I'll bring that mug out. No, go ahead. Bring that mug out. Go
Sirach,
back over.
Sirach 20 and 5. There is one that keepeth silence and is found wise, and another by much babbling becometh hateful.
So sometimes it's better to use less words than just be running your mouth. Because you can sit and think about what you need to say other than just going running off at the mouth like a lot of our people do.
Yeah.
Read on.
Some man holdeth his tongue because he had not to answer, and some keep it silent, knowing his
A
time.
wise man gonna hold his tongue till it's proper time, until it's the season to speak. Because he gonna know, like Maccabees just brought out, it's a proper time and a place for everything. And a wise man gonna know when to speak this and when to speak that. Read on.
And then that's another thing, man. Check the season before you just run in your mouth to other people anyway. Check and see what they, don't just jump out. Hey, talk to them, little words here, but I don't just jump out and throw your stuff out there and everything. You be like, man, they looking at you crazy.
Yeah.
Or because y'all, y'all done that to somebody coming like, hey, this is crazy talking about. I don't want to hear nothing about your little baby daddy dog. You know what I'm saying? That ain't. So check what's going on before you just get to going off at the mouth.
All right, because when we out there street chasing and we out there trying to wake up our people, man, one word, man, one instance, one foul word or one out of season word stop that brother or sister from trying to get into the truth, man. That's why Isaiah 50:4 say he gave us the tongue of learn, that we might speak a word in season. You got to know how to come in certain brothers and sisters, man.
And in that same verse, it also said it gave us an ear to learn.
That's right.
So when you hear it, and you should know when to talk in those seasons, man. Because guess what? Sometimes people, they might think it, but guess what? When you hearing somebody literally like, hey man, I might need to hold that off, man, because sister, man, she kind of looked rogue, man, but I might touch her another time on it. But it's time to hold them, time to fold them, man.
Yeah.
You got to know when to do it, man.
And you're getting this. It's a practice, like you said. This is a lifestyle, and lifestyle is something that you keep gradually learning to get better at.
That's right.
And that's the thing you're gonna do. You're gonna be really able to, cause like sometimes I don't want to come at somebody. I'm gonna come at them and talk to them, and they'll say something so crazy, and then I'll just get guns loaded up. They're giving that scripture, giving that scripture, giving that. And I was gonna come at you this way, but because the way he came out of season, I gotta line him back up. You know what I'm saying? If it's raining, hey, I'm gonna teach you to get an umbrella.
Right. That's why I say try the spirit, hear what they saying, let them talk. Cause sometimes brothers and sisters will talk themselves into these scriptures, whether you have to rebuke them or whether you have to keep them. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm gonna keep them going with these scriptures. He got a little zeal of God, but I'm gonna keep him on this direction rather than Maccabees going straight shotgun loaded. You know what I'm saying? So, but sometimes they need that. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes they do.
They need that tough. That's tough love. That ain't nothing but tough love.
And we're gonna cover that too. Read on. Read on with Captain Nehemiah, verse 7.
Verse 7. A wise man will hold his tongue till he see opportunity.
And that's what the brothers was just covering, man. Wise men and wise sisters as well. Read on up.
But a babbler and a fool will regard no time.
Man, they just running off at the mouth, man. Don't care what the time, what the season is. They just talking, blabbering, man. You know, telling and spilling everyone's business, man. You know, we cannot be that way as a nation of people, man. We cannot be that way. Let's get back to Sirach chapter 23, and we'll jump down to verse 15.
The book of Sirach, chapter 23, verse 15. The man that is accustomed to opprobrious words will never be reformed all the days of his life.
And that appropriate words can go into cussing words, derogatory words, offensive words, abusive words. All these things are synonyms for appropriate words. So we always, like we say, want to mind what we saying, want to mind how we speaking to one another, you know, dealing with one another. Sisters, making sure that y'all being mindful of that thing too, dealing with sisters. Read on up.
Verse 16. Two sorts of men multiply seed.
No, that's all we want on that. Give me James chapter 3, verse 16.
And make sure y'all know the kind of people that you're talking to too. If you go and confront somebody that have no understanding, like a lot of times we want to get this word out sometimes, but sometimes we're trying to get the word out to people with no understanding. And you're just wasting your time.
That's right, start up at verse 5. Go ahead, you got something?
I would say casting your pearls to swine.
Yeah, that's right, man. A lot of times, man, even with our family members, we done told them 20, 30 times about this truth, man. Sometimes you just gotta let it go. Because the Bible tells us go to them 2 or 3 times, man. And guess what? Sometimes you got to shake the dust off your feet, man. That's what you got to do, man, because if you don't, they'll start to hate you for that, man. So we want to be mindful of those scriptures too. You know, we want to rebuke brothers and sisters. You know, we want everybody to come to this truth, but that's not so, man. It ain't gonna be like that. Many are called, but few are chosen, man.
Right.
Read that out.
The book of James, chapter 3, verse 5. Even so, the tongue is a little member and boasteth great things.
Read on now.
Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindles.
Because guess what? Your tongue is a little member. It's a little part of your body, but guess what? It can spear a wildfire, man. You know, that's untamable, man, from this little member of your body, man. So we always want to make sure that we stand in check with our little member or our tongue. Go ahead.
It's like going into what the brother said, that tongue, just saying, talking about somebody's mother will provoke somebody to want to fight you.
That's right.
Because of your tongue. It's a simple little thing right there, man. You got to be wise with the tongue, man, with that mouthpiece, because we take stuff very offensive when somebody say something out of place to us as a people. We ready to fight. So
that's right, man. And like I said, that thing can kindle a fire, man, because we have been taught from growing up that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words would never hurt you. They didn't get that from the Bible, man. Right. The Bible said that the tongue break bones, man. And when you're coming out these scriptures, guess what? They pierce even to your soul, right, man. So words have power, man.
Because if words never hurt you, then why so many fights at school?
That's right.
It ain't because somebody just walking by and looking at each other. No, people saying things to each other, man. And that's when stuff happens, man. That will cause war. That cause, man, division. Everything, man, by the power of the mouth, man.
Just even, for instance, look at the things Donald Trump saying. Shoot, Iran ready to go to war with them, man. Those are the things that they saying, man. And, you know, like we said, we pray for that thing, man, for real. Because we know,
push a button.
That's our that we know our salvation is getting nearer and nearer, man. You know, we pray for that thing. Read verse 6.
Verse 6. And the tongue is a fire.
It say what?
And the tongue is a fire.
The things that we say, man, how we using words, man, that thing is a fire, man. A fire does what? It burns people, man. It scorches people, man. It leaves bruises, man. Read on up.
A world of iniquity.
World of sin. That's what the word iniquity means. Read on.
So
Hold about. It said a world.
Mhm.
That's big, man.
That is, huh?
The thing it can't skip that. It said it's a world of iniquity. It ain't say a little iniquity or a lot of. It said a world. So that's it's telling you it's on a grander state than a regular sin would go.
Mhm.
Go ahead, huh?
Yeah, read that from the top again, huh?
and the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity.
Mm-hmm.
So is the tongue among our members,
So is the tongue amongst our members, man. Read on up.
that it defileth the whole body.
It does what?
Defileth the whole body.
Because just say, for instance, man, you punch a brother in the eye. That eye is the only thing that hurt. But guess what? When you say mean and opprobrious words to a brother, guess what, man? That can scar brothers for life, scar sisters for life, man. You know, that could break a spirit down, or guess what? It can build a spirit up, man.
That's right. And a lot of times, guess what? That's even with your own mouth. You can talk sickness on yourself too. You can talk sickness. You can guess what? Because sometimes when you put things out of your mouth, man, the Lord sometimes make you stand behind those things. Not everything, but sometimes the Lord make you stand behind those things you say. And you can guess what? Just like people want to call in to work. Yeah, I'm gonna call in. My son's sick. Now all of a sudden your son's got to need another liver. You did that to your son because you open your mouth to say those things, and you shouldn't have done that, man.
That's right.
That's the thing. It can defile the whole body, and we got to watch what we say when we using that thing, man.
That's right.
Let me get a precept for that. I don't know if you got that down. Proverbs 18:21.
Yeah, you already know, huh? You know, brothers be in the spirit up here, man. You already know where we gonna go. So we got that. That's the next one. So I'm gonna let I pull it when we come to that. But finish reading this out. Read verse 6 again out from the
Verse
top.
6. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity.
Uh-huh.
So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body,
It defiles the whole body, man. Read on out.
and setteth on fire the course of nature.
Man, it set things even around you on fire, man. Because a lot of times people don't understand the words that you say. You may never know how they affect the person next to you, the sister next to you, your children. These things, that's that fire around you, man. These things can go like an uncontrollable wildfire, man.
That's why you got to watch it. What you do with a wildfire. Like, say for instance, giving you an example. You in the forest, you light a fire. What's gonna happen? Guess what? You got to watch that fire and make sure the fire is contained. If you walk away from the fire, guess what? The fire can burn the whole forest up. So to let you know, when you have a conversation with certain people, who you having a conversation with, because some people can't accept the conversation
That's
that
right.
me and him have, but some people can. But you got to watch those things because nobody have the same conversation with everybody. It's not gonna happen that way. It's never designed that way. So you got to watch how those things go, man. Because if you can't accept our conversation, sometimes you got to back up. No, I can't. I'm not gonna deal with that. Because that ain't what I'm a part of. But the thing is, knowing to accept that person because of what the person bring. Guess what? I can accept it. But the point that I'm making out of the whole thing, if you can't deal with that conversation, don't deal with it. But guess what? You got to know who you're talking to too in that situation.
And like we
Yeah.
say, this also goes for the brothers that's out there teaching on the streets too, man.
Real.
You know, how we build brothers up, man. We got to be mindful of the things that we say and how we teach as well, man. Like we say, man, we know Esau is the devil, man. But guess what, man? The Bible is much thicker than the white man is the devil, man. It's way thicker than that, man. This is about building up our sisters, about building up brothers, man. Guess what? There's other things and more important things that we got to address after on those corners, man. So we let that be mindful for brothers too. We are going to build up a nation, man. Build sisters back up, because our people, like we always say, we suffer from low self-esteem, man. This Bible is the ultimate pick-me-upper, man. You know this, but you say a few words, man, to get changed, brothers and sisters' spirit, man.
Right.
So we want to also be mindful of that, man. Like I say, the discipline of your mouth touches many subjects, man. Many subjects, man. Read on up, verse 7.
That it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature.
Uh-huh.
And it is set on fire of hell.
Of what?
And it is set on fire of hell.
Of hell, man. Read on up.
For every kind of beast, and of birds, and of serpents, and of things in the sea is tamed.
Is what?
Is tamed.
So guess what? Some animals can be tamed, but let's see what can't be tamed. Read on up.
and has been tamed of mankind.
Uh-huh.
But the tongue can no man tame.
But the tongue can what?
But the tongue can no man tame.
No man can tame that thing, man. Guess what? But you work at it, man. Little gradual good steps here, gradual good steps there. Don't take a good 5 steps forward and then 10 steps backwards, man. Come on, man. You need to be constantly getting better and better, man. And these is one of the things that we need to do, because we know people suffer with different type of secret sins, or so to speak. I hope not, but we know everybody got something that they dealing with, man, on a day-to-day basis, man.
Yeah, because some things harder to change than other things. Because some people can deal with certain things and can change just like this. But you take another person, he can't change that thing.
Right.
It might take him a little time, but guess what? That person should still try to reach that mark.
That's right.
You know, because some things that he can do, you might not can do. But you still got to push for the mark. That's what it's all about.
And it helps by reading these certain scriptures about the tongue, man. That's what the Bible does, man. Whatever sin that you're dealing with, guess what? It's in the Bible, man. The precepts is in the Bible that you can read and meditate over to get your spirit in tune with that. Also, pray and fasting, man. I know a lot of brothers and sisters don't want to do that, but guess what? They got to, man. We want brothers and sisters to practice that thing, because guess what? We got the Day of Atonement coming up, man. So brothers and sisters and the children as well need to be trying to get a fast up so you can get that practice in before play that game day is on. You know, you had something off to say, Arnold? Go ahead.
Oh man, I was just gonna say that I was on point with that, because like I said, you can have a fight with somebody. You can hit them in the rib or something, they rib hurt. But that word, man, that tongue is powerful, man. I was it's 25 years ago. I'm in 5th grade. Staying with my grandma. You know, one of my good friends, she said, well, we got into it. Said some words. She said, well, I still remember to this day, man, like it was yesterday. She said, well, that's why your mama don't want you. I was like, oh man, that hurt me. Y'all don't know how much that hurt me, man. I was staying with my grandma. You know, we always done. A lot of us grew up with our grandparents. But man, she said that, man, like I said, I remember that to this day, man. I'm 35 years old. I was 10, 11 years old back then. I'm not mad at your sister. I promise I'm not. But I really remember that, child. I'm talking about it hurt my soul, man.
It is, man.
I was already dealing with that. So that tongue, she didn't have to put her hands on me. She didn't have to call her big brother. All she had to do was say what she said.
That's right.
And it killed me, man. You know, killed my spirit, man. So the tongue is very powerful. Like I said, when you hit somebody in the eye, their eye just goes clear. That tongue, man, that thing gonna make you whole. You don't want to go back to school. You don't want to go home with grandma. I don't want my grandma. I want my That's how really that serious it was. That's all I wanted.
Let me get Titus showing how bad this mouth is. Titus 1, chapter 1 and verse 10. This is letting me back up there. You got that out?
No, go ahead.
Showing you how bad this tongue can be, according to the scriptures.
The book of Titus, chapter 1, verse 10. For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers.
There are many unruly, vain talkers. That's wordplay. And deceivers. That's wordplay. Lying words that people are using. They got that lying tongue. That's against commandments, man. Read on.
Especially they of the circumcision.
Especially who?
They of the circumcision.
Especially Israelites.
That's right.
Especially Israelites who know they're Israelites. They not excluded just because you know you're an Israelite.
And hold up, that circumcision is going into the southern tribe. Y'all know Judah got a mouth on them, boy. Say, Benjamin, say, them Haitians, boy, got mouths on us, boy. Judah, yeah, that's what I said. Judah head boy, but
Some of the best smack you
Judah can talk some smack, boy. For real talk. Yeah, for real.
We championship smack
Yeah,
talk.
boy, what?
If they had a game in the Olympic called championship smack talk, we'll win that with
Lord,
the
and that's another one we'll win.
Read on up.
Verse 11. Whose mouth must be stopped.
The most I say.
Whose mouths must be
It
stopped.
must be stopped. We gotta stop it right here, people. We gotta stop it right here.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. Man, look, Maccabees and Benaniah tell you, boy. I said, man, this brother must be stopped. They like, you care about that? I said, man, no, man. This brother mouth must be
Stop,
stopped.
man.
In the spirit of it.
They're clear, boy.
Because some people mouth must be stopped, man. Because some people just got too much wickedness going on in them, man. And they won't stop, man. Until they destroy people, man. And they destroy households. And they destroy souls. They destroy children, women, everybody they be around because they can't control their spirit, man.
Exactly.
And that's dangerous, man.
That's what all this is going into. Guess what? If you don't stop it at a certain point, it'll continue to get to this point right here. Read on that.
Whose mouth must be stopped, who subvert whole house.
Who subvert whole houses.
Mm.
If somebody can come in your house, tell your wife or tell your husband something, and it'll mess your whole household up.
That's right.
If they listen to
And that word subvert means to destabilize, to undermine the power and authority of an established system or institution. Brothers can come in there and undermine what you trying to build, man, and set their authority over your household.
brothers
Go
would
ahead,
come in here and try to subvert things if they could.
They could.
If they could, they would come in here and try to do that and do exactly what the scripture is talking about.
And but the thing is, that's why we had established certain things from the beginning when we even started this battle axe thing. Because ain't nobody gonna come in and run the household, man. We're gonna be governed by God's laws, but we're gonna have order in here, man. And that's what thing we must have, man. You can't subvert the household, man. We got to keep the order, man, of the Most High God, man. We got to practice the right to act here, so when we make it to the kingdom, man.
That's right, right. Read on that.
Teaching things which they ought not.
Man, we got brothers teaching things that they ought not. And it's to their own destruction too. Teaching things that they ought not. We got a lot of people in Israel doing that. It's a lot of different people, organizations that's teaching things that's contrary to the scriptures. That's what they ought not do.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of telling them to keep the commandments of the Most High God, they telling them you can do something else other than that. And really mean.
Saying 144,000 is some demons. Yeah, I don't care. You know who we talking to. And even guess what? Even going back to saying that they Israelites and telling Israelites don't keep the commandment.
Yep, for real.
Teaching things that they ought not.
That's they are not, man.
Man, I'm gonna tell you like this: the most, and been in the world for a long time, but the most harshest words I have ever heard from a person came when I got in this truth.
For real.
From another Israelite. Lord. I mean, when I tell you Israelites, the main ones want to know the truth. Is the ones, boy, they know how to put them words together. Benaniah was on the street, corrected a brother
About some friends.
just friends. Hey, where your friends at? Another brother was at another camp. They got on a video, and you listen to them. They cussed through the whole video, but at the end of it was the harshest thing I have ever heard in my life. I was like, well, how in the world can you make your mouth say that? But this brother said, in the name of Yahweh Hashem, Mashiach Yahweh Shai, F them niggas.
That's what they said.
I was like, God dang it. I ain't never been hit so hard with a word, man. That was
tough.
I mean, boy, that's that knockout blow. You like, God dang it.
And guess what though? And guess what though? Go with Benaniah did. He laughed about it.
Yeah.
Because them brothers sick, man. There's a sickness in them people, man.
And that brother saw us on the street the first thing. Hey, how y'all doing, Slow?
And we got
We
other
seen him on
brothers.
the
We got other brothers in
My
Israel
God.
saying, help you have a shot.
Yeah.
And it came out their mouth and said that.
But let me, brother, if you
Go ahead, now,
go ahead to that scripture.
Go ahead.
Now I want to get to two of them.
Yeah,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
give you this other one. Let's go to Sirach, chapter 37, verse 18.
Like we said, we're gonna touch on all fronts, man. This is about everybody, man. Men, women, and children.
Guess
So,
what?
yeah,
Guess
we
what?
must be good.
Y'all and us.
Yes, it goes
Yeah.
us first.
Us
We
first.
give
That's
this
right.
message, it goes us first before we get to bring it out. But man, just watch what we say about people and around people, man. It's important because it wouldn't be all over this Bible like that if it wasn't so important.
That's right.
It's all over this. Read that.
The book of Sirach, chapter 37, verse 18. For things appear,
He said, 4 manner of these things appear. 4 things that appear. Read.
good and evil,
Good and evil,
life and death.
life and death. That's that. Think about it. Good and evil, life and death. There's 4 manner things that appear, good and evil, life and death. Some of the, probably the life most popular, what we're looking at in life when we looking at life, period. Good and evil, life and death. Read.
But the tongue ruleth over them continually.
The tongue. Your mouth ruled over them continually. Your mouth, your tongue. Your tongue speak life or death, which we're going to get into that next scripture. If you speak life on people, you can speak death on people. But don't think because you just spoke that word out, that ain't nothing going to happen. A lot of people in them graves right now because of something that was spoken against them. A lot of people are alive, still alive to this day. Why? Because of something that was spoken against them. Especially if you're in this truth. You'll say something to somebody, man, and then something happened to them, and you like, dang, I did just say that. I've had it done to me before. I had it done. Somebody said, hey, I hope he I had my daddy truck out of line one day, and my brother was mad because he needed a ride, and I wasn't there to give him a ride, so he yelled it out to himself. I hope he wrecked the truck. Sure enough, came out of nowhere. I ain't never had a wreck in my life, but out of nowhere, boom! Oh, man, my daddy came home from out of town behind, his whole truck came in. But this is because he spoke that, and I'm like, because my brother told me, he's like, yeah, when you had did that, I had said this. I said, you said this? And that's when I realized, your tongue is a bad boy.
Yeah,
Boy, you think a gun is bad? Shh. That's why I tell people I don't care about when they out in the streets. We don't worry about because you got a gun. Because you might pull this gun, I'll speak to somebody, hey, you might take the gun and shoot yourself in the head. That's how we look at it, because Most High run this thing. But he also listens to your mouth when you in this truth.
Because I'm gonna tell you something. Just like when you go to court and the judge tell you 50 years. Well, that's just boy. Everybody break down here, boy.
Damn.
50 years, man. Boy, you be like 50 years.
Or life.
Or life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, boy. You just,
You're right.
I just stabbed myself.
Yeah, well, you ain't even seen the paperwork yet. You heard they mouth. Like, well, you like, what the? What I'm gonna do now? You ain't even seen the paperwork, but you heard what they said at their mouth. That hurt. Boom.
Let me get the next one. Proverbs 18 and 21.
Yeah, that's a good precept with that, man.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue.
What's that?
Death and life are in the power of the tongue.
That's in the power. That ain't, it's of the tongue. That means your tongue too. It ain't just saying the Most High. See, you gotta understand. You calling out spirit. It's a spiritual thing. It's a physical world. It's a spiritual world. When you running your mouth and you saying some evil stuff, you calling that spirits out on those people. So calm your mouth. Like this brother's bringing out, the discipline of your mouth, the discipline of your tongue. Take heed to the discipline of your tongue. Take heed to what you're saying about people, to people, and even when they're not there. Take heed to what you're saying. Control that tongue. Because we know we can be some wicked Negroes. We know that. And I done seen the most nicest girls, boy, when they got mad, boy, you be like, dang, look at this. And I done seen the most calmest cats, but you done got them to that point, boy, they mouth get to going, you be looking at this brother like, man, this the same. You don't even, and then from that day forward, you look at him a totally different way. They go back to being nice, you still like,
Or what's that favorite quote? You still eat with that mouth?
Yeah, because that tongue, man, that's why I'm glad this brother bringing this out, man. It ain't just cussing words. Man, watch what you say about people. Period.
Like I said, it covers a multitude of things, man. Finish that out, Officer.
Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof.
When you speak that love on people, you're going to eat that fruit. But you speak that wickedness on people, you're going to eat that fruit too.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right, man.
Because the same grave you digging for somebody else, you better dig one for your dang own
Yeah,
self.
man. Yeah, man.
That's it.
Give me Sirach chapter 28 and verse 14. Like we say, this covers a multitude of things. Cussing, swearing to the Most High, backbiting, complaining, murmuring. All these things kind of go into that, man. You know, by us being Israelites, man, we should speak better, man, because we know better. That's the whole thing. Help building brothers when they're going out to teaching, man, all that, man, playing this. Read that up. Start at verse 12.
Sirach chapter 28, verse 12. If thou blow the spark, it shall burn.
Hey, if you start something, guess what? That thing gonna burn. If you start rumors or backbiting, man, that thing can burn and burn down a whole congregation, man. Let alone a whole nation.
And that's how things start. It start off with the spark, but when you blow on the spark, how you make the fire get bigger?
That's right.
Blowing on it.
That's right.
Running your mouth, getting it bigger. And that's what we do. These scriptures talk to you, man. That's all we're doing is here to interpret. Hey, look, this is in here.
That's right.
So if you've been doing it, or if you still got it in you, get it out of you.
That's right.
Learn how to use your tongue properly. Go ahead.
We don't know.
If thou blow the spark, it shall burn. If thou spit upon it, it shall be quenched.
And guess what? If you spit upon it, because he uses spit as putting it out.
Mhm.
If you stop that backbiting, that tail bearing, all that stuff, guess what? It won't continue no more.
That's
But
right.
you got to stop it, man. That's the whole thing.
Because the thing is, just like, they say, hey, man, I can't stand that brother, man. Hey, brother, go apply Matthew 18:15 with
That's
that
right.
brother. Well, I can't stand that sister. Wait, go talk to that sister, man. Because that's quenching the fire right there, man.
Right.
But guess what? When you involve yourself with it, now guess what? You just as guilty as that person that's turning around talking about somebody, man.
And also, man, quenching the fire is also, you don't have to have the last word. Let them have the last word. That's because when I gotta have the last word, that's blowing. That's blowing on the spark.
Because it'll never be put out, boy.
Uh-huh.
You
That's
know,
blowing on
Israel
the
don't
spark.
never want to give up on that last word, man. Just think about a man when we was in the world, a man and his wife arguing. You know, it may die down for a little bit, 10 minutes later. Yeah, and I did say something. Well, and then it's gonna start it right back up again, man. You know what I'm saying? So we got to use wisdom within that thing, man. You know, and that's a part of the sisters get back in order, because you know, boy, Lord, we pray for the sisters in Zion, boy. You know, we be on the sisters harsh, you know what I'm saying? But we know we all done been brought down to a lower state, man. You know what I'm saying? So mainly for the sisters, man, because we got some scriptures that we're gonna cover with the sisters.
And the thing about the sisters is, y'all hard on each other. I mean, men, one thing I notice about men, men can be in a big old group. This one don't like that one don't like that one. They still go to the park and have a good time. But boy, I done seen a few women on the school, y'all just be on the side just, man, blah, 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 blah. Won't say nothing to that one, though. Won't say that to the person you're talking to. But over here, you got a whole multitude of them. You know, you're like, I don't look back like, y'all women is something else.
And that's why we encourage, like we say, sisterhood, man. Building a brotherhood as well as a sisterhood, man. Sewing classes, just getting together, knowing things about one another. That's very important for y'all to build up a sisterhood, because it'd be natural for brothers to kind of build stuff up amongst each other. So we aim this towards the sister. We challenge sisters, you know, to build a strong sisterhood. The mothers and the daughters as well. You know, that's very important. You have some
And coming together knowing that y'all not gonna be that way like the rest of the world is.
That's
Y'all
right.
not gonna be like that. We gonna be where I can trust you, you can trust me. And this is how we do things. But y'all gotta get to that point. I don't know what happened. Well, I do know what happened.
Yeah, you know what happened.
And it's crazy. It's like in the world, I done seen sisters who barely know each other. When it's time to go to the club, oh, you can get a whole gang of sisters together to go to the club, go party. And the dudes is like more standoffish in the world. Like, I ain't deal with a lot of dudes like that. But in the truth, it's opposite. All the brothers coming together, we just so happy to have brothers and deal with them to where we naturally gravitate to each other. It's like the sisters is more standoffish in the truth. And we got to bring that thing together, man.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. Let's go to Sirach, chapter 28, verse 14. Like we said, man, we can continue this for on and on, man, covering all these different avenues, man. Oh, no, read verse 13. I got it. Oh, praise, break it up.
Sirach chapter 28, verse 13. Curse the whisperer and double tongue.
Read that again.
Curse the whisperer and double tongue.
That whisperer goes into, and that double tongue goes into a person that gossip or a talebearer. You know, the Most High said, curse that thing, man. Because guess what? We all brothers and sisters in this thing. You know, we all up under the curses, man. So guess what? We need to start building and talking to one another in positive manners.
And then whisper and double tongue also going to this. This brother right here say, hey man, I can't stand that brother. Then you go to that brother, I can't stand him neither. You know, you playing both sides of the field, man. You all over the place, man.
That's right, man. Read on now.
Go ahead.
For such have destroyed many that were at peace.
Because you see, sisters and brothers come up in here and bring destruction, man, from just words, man. They can cause divisions, like we say. They can they can do some things with their tongue, man. You know what I'm saying? So that stuff causes division, man. And guess what? That's not what the Most High is about, man. That's not what Israel is about. Read on, huh?
A backbiting tongue has disquieted many.
Has what?
Has disquieted many.
Has disquieted many, man. A backbiting tongue, man. Read on, huh?
And driven them from nation to nation.
And read that again, huh?
And driven them from nation to nation.
And have ran brothers and sisters off, man. Having brothers going to other camps, man, because of what sisters done said or what brothers done said, man. Because you know they not immune to this as well, man. We want brothers and sisters to come in here and build one another, with one another, man. Read on up.
And that's why a lot of times they use that excuse while black men is over there with the Edomite woman, because and black women, they mouth is like this, you know, such and such, and vice versa. The man over there, you know, I mean the man, you know, with the women is with the white man, you know, because black men just run their mouth and all they want to, because you know we got that reputation loud and you know, but like I said, that's going in, and we push into another nation where they use that excuse of those nations.
Let me get this definition. That backbiting is defined as malicious talk about someone who is not present. You know, so we got to stop the backbiting, man, because you know that's going into gossiping too, man. Talking about people that's not there in your presence. A lot of times people don't say nothing while they there. You know, they'll run their mouth while they not there, though, man. We got to put checks on that. Go ahead,
You didn't hear this from me.
Yeah, for real.
I want to last back off Mackie said about the brothers going with the white woman and that milk. Give me Proverbs chapter 5 and verse 3 real quick. Because like you said, the thing is, brothers say our women run their mouth too much. So I'm gonna go get with this white woman and she gonna be subtile and keep quiet. But it's a curse to that thing, man. It ain't just that simple. You gonna live with another nation woman and everything gonna be peaches and cream. Wrap that up.
Proverbs chapter 5, verse 3. For the lips of a strange woman drop as in honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil.
So yeah, he with us. She keeping her mouth shut. She's saying everything he want to hear. It's all good. But this thing goes against the Most High God, though. That's the problem with it. Read on.
But her end is bitter as wormwood.
What did the Lord say?
But her end is bitter as wormwood,
Read on.
sharp as a two-edged sword.
So her end is going to be better than wormwood and sharper than two-edged sword. It's not going to profit you anything for being with that woman. You looking for something in another nation that you need to be finding in your own nation.
Cause guess what? She gonna do everything you tell her to do. And then guess what? She get tired of you. Or when it's her time, guess what she gonna do? Because if this your law in your state said, guess what? She got to be with you for 7 years to get something. She gonna do everything she's supposed to do in them 7 years. But when them 7 years come on with it, bring it hither. And she gonna take half of everything you got.
That's right. Here go a perfect example.
Didn't they?
Snap. Who is on Snap? I don't see a lot of our sisters on Snap,
White women.
but I see a lot of Edomite women on Snap. And these brothers better ask Steve McNair. He was with a heathen woman. They don't play. When that devil come up out of them, it's gonna be worse than anything that you ever imagined. That's what these brothers don't know. Yeah, they were smoother than butter. They can got you in there. They dealing with you, but make them mad and see what happens. See what they call the police on you. See what they try to take you for everything you got. That's why I said watch Snap and you'll see how that devil really works.
And they use our weaknesses against us. Because white women hear the stories that goes on with black women and black men. You always got somebody sitting there with a white woman telling, you know, these black women, they run their mouth. Same thing. So when they go back to their communities, that's what they tell them. So they use that against us. Well, you know what? and they know how to approach us. You know, I just be nice. What you need, baby? She gonna do everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything. Ain't gonna give no lip, but like the brother said. But that outcome at the end of that, Seb like folk.
Read that verse 5, right?
Verse 5. Her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold on hell.
Because she's not a child of God, and she's not going to do these laws, statutes, and commandments. She's going to try to keep you from doing it.
That's
Or
right.
he, because our sister's going with a lot of Edomite dudes. It's the same thing. Their goal is to keep an Israelite from serving the Most High God of Israel.
That's right. And guess what? You go touch on one even deeper, like with the football players and how they get the so-called the white women that they be with. Guess what? That white women is telling them to build up their communities and not their own communities. You know, so that's how they can be slicker than oil with their mouth, man. You know what I'm saying? Because brother want to do something good for the neighborhood. Oh, they ain't gonna bring you no investments. Hey man, but what? Guess what? I'm trying to build up my community. You know what I'm saying, for my people. So we always have to be mindful of those things as well, man.
And that's why that Deuteronomy 7:3 is alive in effect. Because the Lord said, when you drop down to verse 4, it said, for they will turn.
They
around.
will.
He
Ain't
said,
no if, ain't buts
that's
about
what you will do. You gonna turn.
That's
It ain't
right.
nowhere else around it, man.
Let's go back to Sirach chapter 28, verse 14.
Sirach 28, verse 14. A backbiting tongue has quieted many
Has the quieted many, man. Read on up.
and driven them from nation to nation. Strong cities has it pulled down
Guess what, man? This thing done pulled down strong cities, man. Read on up.
and overthrown the houses of great men.
And guess what? It can also overthrow great houses. I mean, houses of great men, man. Brothers just strong in the truth, but guess what? Can't control their wife. You know, sisters as well, and men. It go vice versa, man. But mainly it deems towards the woman pulling down the man. So we got to keep that thing in check, man.
a lot of countries been torn apart, all
That's
because what somebody said. That's what Donald Trump doing right now. It's all because what he's saying. Them people way in North Korea ain't thinking about him, and then so he tweeted about you. They look at that tweet, they start, hey, get them ready. You know what I'm saying? Get them ready, goddamn. They do their tripping. And it's all, you know.
Another example, the Iraq war.
Yeah.
They went to the UN and lied and said it was weapons of mass destruction with a straight face.
Exactly. It's always the word.
And they had an Israelite go do that. Colin Powell.
Yep.
See how they work.
And World War I started like that. With somebody said this and that, and the whole world gone to war because somebody said. Then they come on, well, he lied about it. Yeah, y'all done blew up half the world just over somebody instead of somebody, you know, because of mouth. Y'all gotta understand this tongue is dangerous, man.
That's it. Black
Take
Wall
that
Street.
nation.
Black Wall Street, the same thing.
Yep.
Man,
Oh yeah.
it never stopped, man. It's all about
What's his name? Emmett Till.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. All these things, man, start from lies and backbiting.
Yeah.
Gospel, a white woman. Because when you read in that history from the 1900s, what was that, 1902 all the way up to the 1920s,
1920. Yeah.
each one of those things that our people were suffering was at the hands of so-called Edomite women. That's what we tell brothers. They're against you too, man. They just in it for their men. Because they know as long as their men is in power, guess what? They're going to be right there too. You know? And it's
No
the flip
evidence,
side.
no nothing. All
That's
they
right.
gotta do is open that mouth.
And see, but the thing is, our women don't know that if we come into rulership, they do too.
That's right.
But they like, nah, we gonna envy the oppressor. We gonna keep the Negro down because we in the head. They the other nation raising us up. No, they not. They using us. They using y'all because they know how to keep us in check by y'all.
Right.
And
So
we get in authority. Guess what? Y'all become to get in authority.
right.
Man.
And that's because a lot of times, man, we got Israelites who make it kind of non-inviting for the woman sometimes.
That's
We
right.
always,
Uh-huh.
you know, it's always a man gonna be doing it, you know what I'm saying? You gonna be just in this, you know, I'm like, God dang it, hold on, when did she get her little, you know, her little time in a jacuzzi? You've been in there for the last 4 months. You know what I'm saying? When she get her little relaxing time. We don't, and that's what we need to start bringing it back. Because that's what he said. In that time of the kingdom, he said, well, what? It ain't gonna be male nor female. So we all gonna be having that glory, but we gotta bring that back. We just gotta understand there's some men that just don't have. I ain't saying they don't know. I ain't saying that they just being so. Some of them just don't understand that part.
Yeah, some of them don't. They
Yeah,
really
so
don't, right?
And we need to just kind of bring that back to where it is inviting for the woman, because otherwise she'll be like, I know I'll be looking at me going like, yeah, man, they just gonna be doing everything. What we gonna do?
See, but the thing is, this Bible, it teaches us on how to be a kingdom, a nation of kingdom priests. It teaches us to get to that step that we can be able to rule a nation, to be able to rule the world. See, a lot of us don't use this tool to learn how to rule. We use this tool to learn how to make somebody do something else. No, this
To
is
destroy.
in order to destroy us. But we don't use this tool, this Bible. We don't use this Bible to build. We use the Bible to build our own stuff that we got in this present thing right here. No, we trying to build a nation, man.
What you got,
Book of Titus, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Go ahead, read it.
Put them in the mind to be subject to principalities and powers, to obey magistrates, to be ready to every good work. That's what we trying to do. We learning how to do these things. A magistrate is a civil officer or a lay judge who administers the law. And that's what we trying to do. We trying to administer the law. So practicing that righteous act, we are learning how to be up under the law and be up under order and try to be as a nation.
That's right. And the key word, like we say, is order, man.
Yeah.
Order, man, it orders all things, man. And with God's laws, that's what we need, man. It helps put brakes on certain lusts that we have, especially that mouth, man. You know, so we need God's laws, man. Let's go back to Sirach, chapter 28, and verse 15. We're gonna read down to 18.
Sirach 28:15. A backbiting tongue had cast out virtuous women.
Guess what, man? That thing done destroyed virtuous women, man. Read on,
And deprived them of their labor.
and deprive them of their labors. You know, they not even thought about no more, man. You know, read on,
Verse 16. Whoso hearkeneth unto it shall never find rest.
Shall do what?
Whoso hearkeneth unto it shall never find rest.
Also hearkening unto backbiting. Guess what? You'll never find rest, man, because you'll always have strife and commotion running up in your household, man. You'll never find rest, man. You'll never be at ease, man. Even when you go into the store, you seen somebody you talking about, they're gonna be trying to get with you in the store, man. You know how they be causing ruckus up in Walmart, man. They call it ghetto city up in their things, and some of them, man. Read on,
And never dwell quiet.
and do what?
Never dwell quiet.
Because it's the woman's, guess what, job to be quiet and submission. Let's get that real quick, right quick.
Let me break something down.
Go ahead.
Same thing you're doing. Start at 15 again.
Verse 15. A backbiting tongue had cast out virtuous women.
A backbiting tongue. Women, people talking about it, a woman that cast them out to being a virtuous woman. Talking about it, you know, because she doing all that for your husband. Why would she do all that, man? You crazy. Girl, you better go on here and take your. And they cast these things. They take a woman who is a virtuous to her husband away from them. Now she thinking like, I ain't gotta do all that. And they take them out. That's what this talking about. Read that.
A backbiting tongue has cast out virtuous women.
Then what's why he said, who can find a virtuous woman? Because there was a lot of women that was virtuous got cast out because of the fact of the matter. Somebody running their mouth. Somebody whispering in her ear.
On it,
Read.
And deprived them of their labor.
And now you stop them from doing the work that they were doing.
That's right.
When they were doing a good work.
That's
Break it down.
When they was doing for their husband what they're supposed to be doing. When they was going to the house, making garments for them, putting friends on, learning to sew and doing these things. But here comes somebody else. Y'all still using a sewing machine? Girl, I can buy that at such and such and such and such. And here you are. It's easy. Like, I can't go just bring me one from Walmart too. And then he stop you from doing your labor. Girl, you doing that to him? You rubbed his feet? His feet, girl? Ooh, you have acne hands.
Read verse 16 again.
Verse 16, chapter 28 of Sirach. A backbiting tongue, Salah. Whosoever hearkeneth unto it shall never find rest and never dwell quiet.
Because like we said, that's the job, especially for the sisters. Let's get that precept. Give me Sirach chapter 26, verse 14.
Sirach chapter 26, verse 14.
Chapter backwards.
A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord.
Read that again.
A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord.
Most High said that thing is a gift, man. Because guess what? We know brothers catching hell in here on the job. You don't want to come home and catch hell in the house too.
So guess what? Nobody in here got that gift.
You know?
Hey, but we gotta want that gift. We do. Guess what? But we got to learn to be in order too, to be able to receive that gift. Because guess what? If she's silent, and guess what? And she's supposed to do, you can pull her out the spirit because you won't shut your dang on mouth.
Yep. And that's a good thing, man. That's what I tell you sometimes. Y'all women look at what the man, his weapon, and like I said, I use that movie all the time, what is that? Men in Black, all the time. And I use that because, you know, when the man was like, man, you got that big weapon, I got this little. He never even tried his own weapon. Never even thought to use his own weapon. Then when he finally had that little tiny gun to push the button on there, he was like, boom. Women don't understand that. You got to understand that you just use your weapons. When I'm being solid, those are your weapons. But we look at a man, we like, man, I want to use his weapon. Then you go over there and got his gun backwards and pushed the button and shot yourself because you didn't know how to use his weapon because it never was meant for you. Use the weapons that was meant for you. And men use our weapons that was meant for us.
That's right.
And stop being like, excuse my language, I ain't gonna say it, but did it. Never.
Yeah, but read verse. Go ahead.
Like it said, read that again out.
A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord.
Because y'all know when y'all get quiet in the household, boy, a man can't take it, boy.
Yeah.
You'll break a man down to the ground.
Yeah.
You'll be look at that man be thinking so much stuff in his mind, like, man, look here. If she don't talk to me tomorrow, man, I know when I look at, I'm gonna pack my stuff and leave. I'm gonna do something. But guess what he gonna do? Hey man, we need to straighten this thing out, man. Because man, I ain't gonna keep on walking around here like this, man. He gonna come do it.
And I don't apologize for stuff. I knew I was right on just because she done got silent. I'm like, you just go apologize. You know what I'm saying? You know, hey, I'm sorry. Sorry for what? I'm just sorry. You know what I'm saying? You done got silent around there, man. That's like I said, those are your weapons. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, like I said, you don't have to worry about it. Because some other women gonna be out there running their mouth. So if you silent at the house, you think he gonna run to some loud mouth out here? No, I'm going back home. It's quiet.
Read
quiet.
verse 14 again.
Verse 14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord. And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
Most High love that thing, man. A solid and loving wife or a sister and a mind that's well instructed. Guess what? That's all praises from the Most High, man. Read on,
Verse 15. A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace.
And guess what? Having those qualities is even a double grace, man. So these are the things that our sisters need to strive for. You know, meditate on these scriptures, man. When sisters go home, these are the scriptures y'all need to constantly read and meditate on. Read on up.
And her continent mind cannot be valued.
That continent mind is a mind with self-restraint. Having self-restraint to hold back your tongue. You know, to not want to go bad on your husband or just go bad, period. You know, learning to control your mouth, man. These are the things that sisters need to pray about, like we say, fast about too. Read on now.
As the sun, when it arises.
Now read that and her. Start over from the top, verse 15.
Verse 15. A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued.
Hey, that thing cannot be valued, man. That is priceless, man. So that's what sisters esteem to be, that, man, to have that type of spirit, man. Because guess what? You want to be in grace with the Most High, man. That's the thing that you're reaching for, man. And of your Lord as well, to sisters that have husbands. You know, you got something?
Yeah, because the thing is, even when he's out of line, he out of line. Guess what? The thing is, you holding back yourself, your restraint from going at him. Be like, look, bro, I just don't agree with it, and I'm just saying I can't do it. I just don't agree with it because we read the scriptures together and it don't say that. So I just can't understand it. But you rah back with him, it's not gonna solve anything.
And that first one you stated, that's spitting on the spark.
Yep,
At the second he's stating, that's blowing on the squatters, right?
that's right.
Let's go to Exodus chapter 4, verse 11. Because the Most High, he gives us this mouth, man. Guess what? According to his grace, man. And according to our prayers, man. We got to pray for that thing, man. Pray to the Most High to have a discipline of your mouth. You know, brothers and sisters, man. These are the things that we need to pray for.
The book of Exodus chapter 4, verse 11. And the Lord said unto him, who hath made man's mouth?
Uh-huh.
Right.
Read that from the top again, huh?
Exodus chapter 4, verse 11. And the Lord said unto him, who hath made man's mouth?
Who had made man's mouth? We know the Lord did. Read on, huh?
Or who maketh the dumb
Uh-huh.
or deaf, or the seeing or the blind? Have not I the Lord?
So guess what? When we see brothers out here that are dumb, that are blind out here, guess what? The Most High does these things, man. You know, we cannot question that thing. A lot of things have to do with sin that they dealing in from this time or from the regeneration. A lot of times you come back and you pay for your sins in the past, and that's another. Go read on now.
Now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth,
Uh-huh.
and teach thee what thou shalt say.
How does God teach us? He teaches us through the scriptures. So God teaches us what to say and how to say it. All we have to do is go through the scriptures and meditate on these scriptures, man. Meditate on how to use your mouth effectively or in order with the Most High God, man, because all the correction that we need is in the Bible, man. We don't have to go no other place, man. Give me Matthew chapter 15, verse 18. Because we know a lot of times Christians would use this scripture to justify them from eating pork, but that's not what the context is talking about at all, man.
The book of Matthew chapter 15, verse 18. But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man.
Read that again,
But those things which proceed out of the mouth,
because those things that the Bible is talking about is sin. Those things that come out of your mouth, the sin that come out of your mouth, read on up.
of the mouth come forth from the heart.
Now, your heart, according to the Bible, is your mind. So guess what? What your mind thinking, that's what your mouth is going to speak. Read on up.
And they defile the man.
And that's what defiles men. You know, like we say, Christians use this scripture to justify them eating pork. But when you get the correct cultural context, jump back up to verse 1.
Matthew 15 and 1. Then came to Yahushua scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders?
Because guess what? They just like today, they teaching traditions of the elders. Like Christmas is a tradition. That is not a law that the Most High God ordained, man. You know, that's what they pushing on our people. Sunday worship is a tradition. We learned that in slavery, and that was passed down from generation to generation. That's why we do it today.
And they nail you to the cross for their traditions, not the laws of the Bible.
That's right. Read on,
For they wash not their hands when they eat bread.
Read that again,
For they wash not their hands when they eat bread.
Because the scribes and Pharisees was trying to push this as a law. Like we always say, that's good hygiene, but that's not one of the laws of God. So that's what the context is talking about. This has nothing to do with eating pork, because they understood from the beginning, Leviticus 11 and 7, that the animals that we could and cannot eat, man. That's first and foremost. So we got to touch on that. Read on up.
But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition?
Because our people transgress or break God's laws by their tradition. We read in Jeremiah 10 and 1 to say that, guess what? We're not supposed to celebrate Christmas. What is the first thing they say? Oh, I do it for the kids. You know, I do it for them. No, sis, you're going to get put to death for the kids. You know, we got to break those traditions, man, and come back to keeping God's laws.
And that's the reason why Yahushua was cutting them up right here, man. Read verse 3 again.
But he answered and said unto them,
This is what Yahushua said. This is what Yahushua said to them, though.
why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition?
He said, why y'all breaking God's law by y'all tradition? Y'all ain't supposed to be y'all just adding some stuff to the Bible, man. You can't add or take away from the Bible, man. But that's what they were doing. So he was correcting them on it.
That's right.
Go ahead,
Go ahead, Mac. Did you have something?
Go ahead.
I lost your thought. I think you can get it back in a minute. And like we say, we cannot do those things to bring it up to today. It's a tradition for our people to have foul mouths, man. Guess what? We got to break that tradition as well, man. Because you know, a lot of cussing, hooting, hollering going on those street corners every time we passing by, man. They not talking about God's laws, man. They're in Egyptology, in 5%, all these different things that's not going to profit them nothing to get them to the kingdom, man. And we know how the sisters is on the corners gossiping as well, man, in their house gossiping, on Facebook gossiping, man. That's why we tell sisters and brothers push this truth. Use Facebook to push the truth, man. You know, I don't be on there looking at stuff. Just Facebook can carry this truth farther, man, you know, than just by us being on YouTube, man, because it can reach all over the place, man, to places that we have not been. So we want brothers and sisters to understand we got to break that tradition too of using that foul mouth, man. Give me Sirach 21:5. And we said we got a class on that, breaking down misinterpreted scriptures. Brothers and sisters, y'all go and check that out as well. The book of Sirach, chapter 21 and verse 25. Yeah, 21 and 25. Sirach.
Sirach chapter 21, verse 25. The lips of talkers will be telling such things as pertain not unto them.
Busy Bonita. Telling everybody business, but you ain't saying nothing of what you done did. You know, that goes into gossiping and being talebearers, man. The Most High does not like that, especially for our sisters, man. Y'all are the daughters and princesses of Zion, man. Y'all got to carry yourselves as such. And guess what? Now the men with some of these effeminate spirits, they starting to do a lot of gossiping as well, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they gossip sometimes more than the sisters, man. So brothers got to stop that as well. Read on up.
But the words of such as have understanding are weighed in the balance.
The words that you have of understanding, guess what? The Most High weighs those things in the balance, man. You want to make sure that you're speaking more words of understanding than guess what? All that gossiping and stuff, man. That balance should be no comparison, man. You always want to be speaking more words of understanding than gossip.
Can I get a precept on that?
Go ahead.
Proverbs 20 and 10, right quick. So this is what the Lord think about the diverse balance, man. We're gonna touch it because that's we still talking about the lips of talkers. When you get there, I'll read this.
Proverbs chapter 20, verse 10. Divers weights and divers measures, both of them are alike abomination to the Lord.
He said both of them are abomination to the Lord, man. So when a talker is not the way they talk don't weigh up with what's going on or what they doing or don't measure up to what God is saying, it's abomination to the Lord.
They're unbalanced.
Right.
It's just unbalanced, man.
While you right there, proverb, go to 8 state. I'm gonna give you one of our favorite ones. Proverbs 18 and 6.
That was doing to me. That's exactly what I wanted to put bullet though. No, that's good because when you unbalanced and you got that brother to do all that talking, every time that brother talk too much. Sooner or later, there's gonna be some actions with that brother, man. You know what I'm saying? And you become a fool. Proverbs 18 and 6. A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calleth for stroke.
So don't be feeling sorry when they've been running their mouth and all that. Somebody come out and knock their lips and I'm busting them in their mouth. That's because that's what they do. They ask for that. You run in your mouth and be like blah 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 blah. Here's somebody busting. I'm laughing now. Oh, okay, that's what the Bible is exactly what it says.
That's nice. Hey man, I'm running. Hey, that's judging from the Most High,
Yeah,
man.
we done seen it too, brother.
Yeah. We experienced that at camp.
Brother,
You want
18 to 6. Proverbs 18 to 6.
That's right. And that's all that we can pull for the brother, man. That's it. That's all we got for him. We had a brother, Edomite scoffer out there. This
Oh boy,
Most High put it on the spirit of Issachar.
Just started busting them up.
That's
He
it,
was
man.
scoffing. Dude sat over there and just watched him scoff and just watched. And then all of a sudden, blip, 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 blip.
But you know it was of the Most High God because it was so many police around. We were downtown. You know, they have many police. But the Most High God put it on this Issachar brother to just sit there and wait by the hour. He sat there by the hour, y'all, probably even longer. And when the time came right, that boy sized that boy up and
Boom.
Now,
I mean,
now,
nice solid blow.
Yeah.
That dude got up, he started to scoff for a second, and he said,
Nah,
got his stuff. And just left.
Because I was the thing is I was up there teaching at the time when that happened. And the thing is, the white boy, man, the Edomite was scoffing, man. I ain't gonna lie, I was eating his lunch, man. And I was scripture. I was eating his lunch with the scripture, man. We were going back, but look at it. And the dude was standing over to the side, and I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought I ain't know what he was on.
Yeah.
Because everybody in the camp was getting their eyes on him.
I told you already.
They
Hey,
keep
watch
telling
him,
me to watch him.
I said,
I'm like, I'm
watch
watching him. He might go. I know his Instagram. He might have. I see what he moves, but he don't.
But then his point, when you look at the point of attack, he was locked in on him the whole time. He was just waiting for the right time. When them police walked around the corner,
It was on.
it was on, dude. It was
on.
on. Guess what? And guess what he did? After he knocked him down, and then Edomite got up. Guess what he did? He went and got his books and he put it in his
Moved on.
backpack and he moved on.
That's what we continue to teach. That's what we're submitted to do.
Yeah,
Give me a
because-
second. Correct. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, my bad.
No, go
Verse 7. Verse 7. A fool's mouth is his destruction,
That's right.
and his lips are the snares of his soul.
Because a lot of times people talk themselves
To destruction.
into destruction, man.
What's going on?
Give me that 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 6 right quick. Because I know we pull this a lot. You know, we pull this a lot. You know, we're going to cover this too. You know, because even Brother Paul, like we said, at times, guess what? Sometimes it can get a little rude after sometimes, man. And your conversation can get a little rude. But like we say, though we be rude in speech sometimes, not in knowledge, man. You got to keep that knowledge. And guess what? Acknowledge your offense too and try to strive for better as well within that context. Read that.
2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 6. But though I be rude in speech,
Like Brother Paul was saying, read on.
yet not in knowledge.
Because guess what? Mainly when we out there at camp, when we teach, some things gonna come off a little harsh. But guess what? We out there trying to save brother soul. Like we always give the analogy, when you see a child in the streets, are you gonna say, Bobby, get out of the streets, or are you gonna get out of the streets? Like we say, you might have to jack their arm and pull their arm, but you done save their body. You know what I'm saying? So guess what? Sometimes things come out harsh, but guess what? It's because we're trying to save. That's the seriousness of this thing, man. So we got to keep that in mind always, man.
And that's one reason, because we dealing with a hard-headed, stiff-necked, rebellious people. And you trying to tell them, y'all the greatest on the planet. Nigga, F you. You be like, wait a minute.
That's right.
I'm trying to, but sometimes you got to come at them, Mike. You got to come at them, like Paul said, I had to be rude to them. But I wasn't rude in what I was saying. My knowledge of what I was talking about was real, and it was true, and it was fact, and it was of this Bible. They was like, man, I had to, because that brother was hard-headed like a son.
See, because that's the Isaiah 58:1 when he say, cry loud and spare not.
That's right.
Because the thing is, when we bring in the word, we can't spare people feelings, man. And when people don't understand, when you out here and you striving to be a teacher or you finna be a teacher, guess what? You can't put your personal feelings in this, man. There's no personal feelings in this truth, man. Everything, you got to put your pride to the side. You got to put your personal, however you feel, put that to the side, man.
That's right.
It's all about the Lord's business, man, over your business, man.
And that's another thing for the brothers when they start teaching as well. You know, we out there to call out people's sins, man. We out there to engage people, man. Not let nobody walk by that we see in sin. Read verse 6 again.
For 2 Corinthians 11:6. But though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge.
Not in keeping God's laws. Read on up.
But we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things.
Give me a precept. Give me Jude chapter 1, verse 21, verse 22. Because guess what? It's a time that we be harsh with our people, but it's also a time that we have compassion on our people as well, man. But you have to be a discerner of that to make a difference, you know, to be able to understand when you do it and when you don't do it. Jude, the book of Jude, chapter 1, verse 22.
The book of Jude, chapter 1, verse 22. And of some have compassion.
And of some of our people, when we are out there, guess what? We have compassion. sisters that have humble spirits, brothers that have humble spirits, guess what? We have compassion on them. Read on up.
And if some have compassion, making a difference,
But you have to make a difference. Read on up.
and others save with fear,
Save with what?
and others save with fear.
Sometimes you have to save people with fear, man. Letting them know, guess what? If you don't keep this and you don't change, brothers and sisters, you gonna die. Like that's that fear that we got to instill within our brothers and sisters to get them to understand the seriousness of it. Read on up.
Pulling them out of the fire,
Read on.
hating even the garment spotted by the flesh.
Hating even a little bit of sin, man. We got to hate that thing with a passion because guess what? Sin is the reason why we in this condition, man. And guess what? Keeping God's laws is the only way out of this condition. Jump up to verse 16. Going into murmurers and complainers.
Jude 1 and 16. These are murmurers, complainers, walking after their own lust.
Because when brothers and sisters is dealing in that type of spirit, guess what? They walking after their own lust. They not walking after the spirit of the Bible, man. Because the Bible condemns that, man. Because guess what? Some things may not be exactly the way you want it. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? Everything not gonna be exactly the way we want it, man. That's just something that is just not gonna happen, man. We ain't gonna get that until Lord's will we make it to the kingdom. Read on up.
And their mouth speaketh great swelling words,
And we have a lot of brothers and sisters that speak great swelling words, man. Read on up.
having men's persons in admiration because of advantage.
Because of what?
Because of advantage.
Because a lot of times brothers and sisters would do these things thinking that that's gonna get them an advantage in a congregation, to sort of speak a little bit more acknowledgement. You know what I'm saying? We do this thing for the Most High, and that's it, man. Not to be pleasers of men.
That's right, man.
We do this thing, and everybody and every brother and sister in here should have that same spirit, man. When we come to congregate, when we give alms, when we help in putting stuff in, like we say for the new moon that we got to, this is for the Lord. This is not for brothers up here in leadership or even for brothers and sisters out there. This is for the Most High, man. This is for our nation.
Because the thing is, just like when we was around there with these wicked holidays and Christmas, we was around with the wicked holidays and Christmas, 4th of July, Thanksgiving. Guess what? You was the best dresser. You bought all the clothes, man. You bought all the food. You bought all the drinks. You did all that when you was in the world. But now you get to the truth, you forget about all those things that you used to do in the world. Now you stopped all these things.
And I'm glad I said it. We do it big while we was in the word, but you don't want to do it big in the truth for the Lord.
Come on, man.
Hey, we got to change that spirit as well, man.
Change the word.
Do it.
Smile.
That's right, for real. Hey, you want to go all out for the Most High, because guess what? He's going all out for us, man. Go ahead,
Because once you don't woke up, now that you woke up, oh man, I just want to serve the Lord. But guess what? The Lord command us to have a good time too. And guess what? When we were having a good time in the world, you couldn't have did it. Because I ain't gonna lie to you. When we threw the party, I bought everything. Drinks, food, everything. So, but look at the next person see you like, dang, he doing too much. No, I used to do this in the world. Go hard in the world. Guess what I'm gonna do in the truth? I'm gonna go extra hard in this truth, man. That's how we all should be striving for that thing, man. But guess what? We limited ourselves because guess what we want to do? You looking at the next brother, see what he doing, looking at the next sister. No, you go hard as you was when you go twice as hard you was when you was in that world. You supposed to go twice as hard.
And guess what? You never know the trickle down effect that they might have. You might put on that brother or that sister to go harder too, man. You know, this all for the betterment of our nation.
Every now is I'll bring the straws.
Brother, sisters, we got enough straws, man. You drinking out the cups, man.
I got some napkins from Wendy's.
Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. Because like we say, we want to put off all this stuff, man. We want to put on righteousness communication, man. We want to put off all that evil communication. And guess what? That goes into some of the things we watch on TV, to some of the music that we listen to, because guess what? Those things subconsciously seep into your mind, man. Little do brothers and sisters know, man. Esau knows these things, and they play on our ignorance of that, man. Read that,
First Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners.
So when we listening to evil communication, this is a precept we always pull, man. Those things corrupt good manners, man, subconsciously. You may not see the effects then, but slowly but surely it creeps into your subconscious and affects members of your body, man. And then too, it affects the way that you speak sometimes when you thinking people is not listening. What you got, Junior? What you got? Bring it out right quick. Give me James chapter 2, verse 2. Verse 10, 2 and 10. Okay, I'll pray.
The book of James, chapter 2, verse 10. For whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all.
It is what?
Guilty of all.
So we got to be mindful of these things. Like I said, read that from the top again. Huh?
For whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all.
Because guess what? We got to be mindful about words that offend people, man. Most I say you be guilty of that thing because we ought to love ourselves as we love each other, man. That's very important. And that goes into the way we speak to one another. Give me Colossians chapter 3, verse 8. Yeah, that's right, man. Sisters loving your sisters as you would love yourselves as well, man. That encompasses all that. Colossians 3 and 8.
The book of Colossians chapter 3, verse 8. But now ye also put off all these angels. But now ye also put off all these.
And it's going to go into the things that we need to put off. We don't
anger.
Because guess what? Some brothers and sisters have anger spirits on them, man. We got to put that thing away. Like we say, the solutions is what? Praying and fasting, man. Some of those things you cannot get off you but with that. Read on up.
Wrath.
Some brothers and sisters got wrathful spirits, man. Holding grudges, man. When brothers are supposed to done like you said in Leviticus 19 and 17, thou shalt not bear no grudge against the children of thy people, man. We can't hold grudges in this truth, man. Read on up. Malice, evil, man. Just wicked evil. Read on. Blasphemy, lies. Read on up.
Filthy communication out of your mouth.
And filthy communication out of our mouths. We got to put all this stuff off, man. Give me Matthew chapter 12, verse 36.
And this is right there. He's talking about that because this is what we do to each other.
That's right.
Not just everybody else. This is what we be doing to each other. He said, stop it. He didn't break it down and tell you what to stop.
Yep. Like we say, because the things that we say, guess what? We got the angels writing down everything that we say, man. And we're going to be held accountable for that thing, whether good or whether bad. And we tell brothers, we understand it's a work in progress, but you want to have more good than bad. That's the thing to get to that. All praise.
You can just wait.
Go ahead. The book of St. Matthew, chapter 12, verse 36. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment.
Read that again. I didn't say son.
But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak,
every idle word that men or women shall speak, read on up.
They shall give account thereof in the day of judgment.
Hey, you're gonna have to give account of that thing in the day of judgment, man. You can't be up there with the most what do you say, with the most high right there. They got you on the stand there. Oh, Lord, it was just a slip of the tongue. Lord, we want to put checks on that. And if that does happen, guess what? That's what repentance is open to, brothers and sisters, for, man.
I'm gonna get a
Make sure you repent of that.
I'm gonna get a precept, man. Hold that Matthew. Let's go to Proverbs 17:28 right quick. Let me show y'all something in there. See, because the thing is, everybody get a chance, but the idle words is what the Lord is talking about in the context. Read it out.
Proverbs chapter 17, verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace,
Even a fool, when he holds his peace, read on up,
is counted wise.
is counted wise, man. Because guess what? He understands that. Guess what? Them idle words that he say he's gonna be counted too. Read on up.
And he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding.
Because a lot of people, guess what? They don't understand that them idle words that they do. Guess what? You gonna be judged for that, man, when the judgment day comes. But guess what? When you wise, you gonna keep that. You know when to hold them, man. You know when to shut your mouth. Like, okay, then this brother ain't gonna stop talking. This sister ain't gonna talk. They ain't gonna stop. Yeah, well, I'm gonna let them make it, man. Let them make it, man. Because even a fool in this same context, when they can hold their lips, man, guess what? Guess what? The Lord gonna be like, well, you know I shut your mouth better than this righteous man, man, on that day. Well, you knew how to shut your mouth. He did. That's one thing. That's one check he gives him. But a fool know how to keep their mouth when they come into the house of the God. Ecclesiastes 5:1.
Because that's what they ask you to
Go
keep
back
your
up.
words few. Well, we always run around our mouth to keep your words few. Because the more you keep saying, then you just getting a bigger book stacked up. Your whole thing gonna be weighed. They gonna put that on a scale with a feather, and your thing.
Yeah, they gonna blow the feather up. Blow that back up.
He said, keep your mouth out, running your mouth all the time. And that goes for a lot of men. We just love talking, you know what I'm saying? We be at the park, you know what I'm saying? Back now, man, you ain't did nothing. No darn well you ain't did nothing. I'm just saying, boy, if we done sold 2 rocks, we done sold 2 keys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if somebody put a gun on him, yeah, they had my family kidnapped and I came up in there. Golly, we run our mouth. They just say, shut up, man. God dang, the few words you say, the better off you are.
Yeah.
They're like when you get pulled up by the police. When they tell you, if you run your mouth, that's when they got you. Now you're going to jail for something you didn't do.
No,
They tell you got a right to remain.
Yeah, and here we are. Then run our mouth. Run our mouth until we get that cigarette.
and guess what? And I'm gonna tell you another thing. Just like somebody get taking account, somebody been drinking. And they say, "Oh, you got the right to remain silent." Well, guess what? When you give them my license, I ain't gonna ask them nothing. But when you start talking, man, did I smell some liquor on you? Now you got yourself in trouble, man. You could have just shut your mouth, man. I don't want to say nothing to her. Here you go.
That's when they mess up in all them cases. I was watching First 48 all the time. And the first time when them dudes go in there and say, I need to see a lawyer. Boy, them lawyers be mad in the mud, go out there, and then I'll be looking at the end of the thing. He got off that he wasn't convicted. But the one that went in there, blah, 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 blah. Well, because it's always they run their mouth. Shut your mouth. The less words you speak, the less things you're going to have to be stacked up when it comes to that time. Right. You be trying to explain everything. Well, I was just saying that because. He go like, man, the most high going to be looking at you.
The less words you speak, the less lies you have to tell.
It's going to take about a year and a half just to go through what you've been running your mouth about.
Like I said, we don't lie, but we would stretch the truth. Stretch the truth to the lie. Yeah, man, I was 18, man. I went out for 35 in the state championship game. Go look it up, boy, he's 16. Well, it felt like 35. It sure felt like 35. I was on 5.
And let them know you keep telling that story. The stats always get bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Important as hell, man. Important as hell.
Like 35.
Give me James chapter 1 verse 19, because taking all this into consideration, guess what? We take these things in when we in the Bible, but as soon as that Bible closed, you forget the person who you're supposed to be, man.
That's right.
So we want brothers and sisters to understand this as well, man. Read that. We're gonna read on down to verse 24.
The book of James, chapter 1, verse 19. Wherefore, my beloved brother, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak.
That's why we got 2 ears, to listen twice as much as we speak. Read on up.
Slow to wrath.
Slow to wrath. Read on up.
For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God.
Hey, that ain't working the commandments in you, man. Read on up.
Wherefore, lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness.
Of what?
Of naughtiness.
Read on up.
And that superfluid is abundance, man.
Yeah.
And receive with meekness the engrafted word.
The who?
The engrafted word.
Meekness is going into being humble. Being humble to receive these words of the Bible, man. Because guess what? These scriptures are for our correction. It cuts us just as much as it cuts brothers and sisters as well, man. This is helping us build as well, too. Read on up.
Which is able to save your soul.
Which is able to do what?
Which is able to save your soul.
The classes that we bring out, man, they to saving our souls, man, to get our spirits in right with the Most High. Read on up.
For if any man be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is likened to a man beholding his natural face in the glass.
Because, hold up. Yeah, read verse 22.
Verse 22. But be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own self.
Because you're not deceiving us, man. You're deceiving your own selves, man, when you look in here and don't apply what the scriptures say. Read on up.
Read verse 22 again. I got to pull some off of that, man. Read that again.
Verse 22. but be ye doers of the word and not hearers only.
Because when you said, but be ye doers. See, when you're not a doer of the word, you just want to hear the word. Because that's a shot to those people that want to be Christians, man. Oh, it's just all about your heart, and you ain't supposed to do nothing.
Yeah.
You won't make it to the kingdom either like that, man. You got to be a doer of the word, man. Read the next part, what it said,
And not hearers only, deceiving your own self.
That is deceiving your own self, man. That's what that's going into, man.
Mhm.
When you're not a doer of the word, you just hear this thing and not try to do it. No, you deceiving yourself. That's how you go out.
Oh, my pastor said it.
For real. That's how
That
you
ain't
go
what
out.
pastor said today.
Right. You're deceiving yourselves by thinking or doing thus said your pastor. Do thus said the Bible. Man. Read on.
Verse 23. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is likened to a man beholding his natural face in a glass.
Now it's giving a comparison. When you have a glass, you can see your face in that natural glass. Read on up.
Verse 24. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way,
So you see yourself in that glass. Read on up.
and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was.
But when you leave that glass, you can't see your face no more. It's just like the Bible. The Bible is the glass. We see ourselves in this Bible and we doing the things while the Bible is open. But as soon as we close the Bible, guess what? You turn back to that nigga on the streets. That's not how we're supposed to be, man. We're supposed to be this way with the Bible open, and more importantly, when it's closed. You know, that being closed is when you out in public. Because a lot of times we read the Bible in private. So you want to be that way, especially when you out there in the public, man.
Right.
You know, speaking, showing yourself. You want to do these things wholeheartedly, man.
Because the thing is, when we got, like I bring it out, we read the Bible, we owe happy days, but when we get to close the Bible, we whoop this trick.
Yeah,
For real. That's how a lot of us do. If we read the Bible, we get right in their car. We sing every song on the radio.
Really?
We know every word. Man, and I know personally. I'm gonna be honest. I know personally because especially when you driving a truck, man. What you gonna do? You gonna listen to the radio all day long, man. You gonna line them Hebrew Israelite songs up, man. Guess what? Eventually you gonna do? Man, I'm tired of listening to them, man. You'll go right back to it, man. But guess what, man? Because you took your face out of the mirror, man.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the face in with you, hey. Sometimes we got to just keep that face in the mirror, man.
That's right. You got to, man. Like I say, the Bible is the mirror, man. The Bible is the glass. Go ahead, up.
And that's what television does. Television will take you straight away from the scriptures or the game. If you worried about watching something, you can't worry about this. And that's what it's for. It's for to take your attention and your focus off to something that's meaningless, off the things that is the most important thing to us.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that when we get home, sometimes you might be tired, man. I just want to watch something, but you ain't studying no scripture today, but you know you need to, and I'm talking for myself. And I will force myself because I understand that that's what that television is for.
That's right.
I like watching television, but I like studying my scriptures even more.
That's right. That's right. Read verse 23 again, out.
Verse 23. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is likened to a man beholding his natural face in a glass.
Read verse 24.
For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was.
Hey, we cannot do that, brothers and sisters. Don't forget the man that you was when the Bible is closed. Don't forget. Give me 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 11.
Let me hit on that because you remember that saying. I don't remember if y'all remember the 840 song. I had a mirror in my pocket and I practiced looking hard. That was a song that he had, and what we need to do is get that mirror and start practice being righteous. Because when you had remember how people just get in the mirror before they went out, be like, yeah, I'm gonna get this face right here. You know what I'm saying? Then you'll leave out the mirror, but your mind is trying to think, yeah, I remember I was looking like this, So you got to keep that look, you know what I'm saying? It was practicing looking hard. So you have to keep reminding yourself of what hard was in the mirror. Same way we do this. We need to practice being righteous. And keep reminding ourselves what it is to be righteous. And that's this word. So we need to get in there. We're going to be in that mirror. We need to be looking at how to be righteous when we look at ourselves.
That's right. Give me 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 11. Like I said, don't forget yourself when you leave out the Bible. And this is another one that's hitting on that as well.
2 Peter chapter 3, verse 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved.
Seeing that all these things, because when you read up above, the Most High is coming like a thief in the night to bring judgment. You see all these things that's gonna be dissolved, bodily flesh, buildings.
Read on up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in a holy conversation and godliness?
In what?
In all holy conversation and godliness.
In all holy conversation and godliness, man. What person do you want to be, man? Do you want to be on the right side of judgment or on the wrong side of judgment with holy conversation? You know, we got to watch our mouth. Watch the things that we say, brothers and sisters. Give me this last precept. Give me Revelation chapter 2, verse 26. We're here for our Lord and Savior, man.
Revelation chapter 2, verse 26. And he that overcometh,
And he that does what?
and he that overcometh,
Overcometh our sins. Overcometh the use of bad words. You know, we got to learn to overcome these things, man, and practice at it, man. Like we said, we know it's a thing that we have to do, but guess what? We got to strive at it. Read on up.
and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the
And
end.
keep it his works. The works that Christ is talking about is his laws, statutes, and commandments, man. Those are those works that we got to keep it till he comes. Read on up.
To him will I give power over the nation.
And that's what, guess what? We crave that thing, man. You know, brothers and sisters want that, man, to be rulers of this planet Earth, to set the example for all nations and races. Read on up.
And he shall rule them with a rod of
And
iron.
he shall do what?
And he shall rule them with a rod of
Hey,
iron.
when that time comes, guess what? We're not going to play no games with the other nations, man. They didn't play no games with us, and they still not playing games with us. Read on up.
As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers.
Shall be broken to who?
Shivers.
Read on up.
Even as I received of my Father.
And with that, we say shalom. Shalom to you, brothers and sisters that's out here listening. Keep helping us push this truth. Now, I understand what you're saying, but you know, it just happened. We keep subscribing to the like button, man. Helping us share these videos, man. Thank you for the brothers and sisters that's out there at the GoFundMe page. Keep supporting, man, and supporting this truth, man. Like we say, we always love to bring out commandments. This is one. Give me Leviticus 19:16. You know, because we really want this to be the last thing that they think about. You know, that's why I really kind of do it at the end.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 16.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer.
As a what?
As a talebearer.
A talebearer is someone that gossips a lot, men and women. The Most High said we should not be as that way, man. Read that again from the top out. To correlate with the class today.
Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people.
Among who?
Among thy people.
Say, don't be busy, Bonita. Don't be doing all these different type of things, gossiping in and out the congregation amongst brothers and sisters. Guess what? Profess godliness, man, in all holy conversations, man. And with that, we say shalom.
Shalom.